You've got to go out. You've got to vote. Otherwise, remember, you all swore to me. Most of you, I think almost all of you. But we don't have much of a movement. You know, that's like Muhammad Ali. He was a friend of mine. And Muhammad Ali could... we have another one. Get him out of here. Get out of here. Looks like a nice little guy, actually. Go home to mommy. Go home. Bye. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy. Tell her to tuck you in bed. He's such a nice guy. Nasty little, I'll tell you, nasty people. Man, are you sure we're in North Carolina? He's a nasty guy. Now, he'll go home to mom now. I love you too, man. I love you too. So, it began, and it really began strongly with trade and borders. And then you had Paris. And then you had the attack in California, the 14, where the two radicalized people came together. And they killed people that threw baby showers for them. 14, many in the hospital. Paris, 130, many so badly hurt. And speaking of Paris, by the way, the toughest gun laws in the world, Paris and France, okay? The toughest in the world. The bad guys have guns, the good people. Let me just tell you something. If there were guns, if you had a gun, you had a gun, you had a gun, and you were on the other side of that room and the bullets were going in the opposite direction. You know, in Paris, what they did, boom, boom, you get over here, boom. 130 people killed, many gravely injured, not one other gun in the room. We are going to protect, folks, our Second Amendment. 100%. 100%. Not going to be any games. Not going to be any games. We're going to protect it 100%. So what happened is I talked about trade, I talked about the borders, then you had the killing of Kate, you had the killing of Jamil, this great young guy in California, going to be a football star, going to go to college. His father's a friend of mine, he's a great guy. The father was devastated. Shot him, shot the son 3 times in the face. A guy just got out of jail, illegal immigrant, and shot him. You had the woman who was 65 years old, a veteran, a wonderful woman, raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal immigrant. And you know what we're going to say? No more. No more. No more, folks. No more. No more. Those days are gone. We're not going to put up with it. We're not going to put up with it. We're not putting up with it. And let me tell you something. The migration, they're coming across, and Obama wants to bring thousands and thousands of people in. He has no idea who they are. Are you okay? You okay? Are you all right? Go. Oh, boy. They all have a different system. Are Trump rallies fun? Are these fun? Right? They're fun. They're fun. So after Paris, all of a sudden it started changing, and we started getting polls in. And everybody liked Trump from the standpoint of ISIS, from the standpoint of the military. And by the way, our military is very depleted. We are going to build up our military 100%, the cheapest thing we can do. And nobody is going to mess with us. Nobody. Nobody's going to mess with us. We're going to knock the hell out of ISIS. We're going to get rid of that deal. We're going to get rid of that. You know, at one of the debates, I'm sure you heard it, became a big deal. But at one of the debates, they asked Lion Ted Cruz, he was on my left, and they asked him. They said, Lion Ted, what do you think of waterboarding? And he didn't want to answer the question because it's not, I guess, politically correct, right? And he was very weak on the question. And then they looked at me, they said, what do you think? I said, I think we absolutely need it. We should have it. And if we can, we should have worse. Now, there are laws. There are laws. And we want to obey the laws, the rules, the regulations, even though ISIS doesn't. You know, it's very hard to defeat people when you're playing by different games and different rules. So ISIS cuts off heads like not since the Middle Ages, right? Medieval times. Think of medieval times. You'd read. They cut off heads. They drown people in cages, big steel cages. They drop them in the ocean. They lift them up. They wipe out 40 people at one time, right? Now, we have waterboarding. Can you imagine these people sitting around after chopping off heads all day long and doing what they do, which is violent, talking about, can you imagine the stupid United States of America wants to protect us. They don't like waterboarding. Here, guys, they chop. So we're going to go by the laws, but I want to see if we can expand those laws and make them much more severe. We have to. So we're going to look to expand the laws. But it was very interesting because Ted didn't want to talk about it too much. He was off. But I tell you what, when I said no, we have to do it. We have to do it. We don't have a choice, folks. We have people out there that want to destroy us. They don't have rules. They don't have regulations. Can you imagine telling ISIS and the others out there, because it's beyond ISIS now, it's gotten to be so bad. But could you imagine saying to them, well, you're not allowed to cut off heads because we have a law. You know what? I'll be honest. Honestly, they wouldn't even know what you're talking about. So we're playing by different sets of rules. We have to get the rules fair, but even without that, we are going to find General MacArthur, General George Patton. How long do you think ISIS would be around if General George Patton headed a little group going over to the Middle East? I don't think they'd be around very long, folks. I don't think they'd be around very long. So we're going to toughen up our country. We're going to make our country better. It's going to be a better place. I mean, right now, we have tremendous problems with crime and other things. We're going to strengthen our country. We're going to make it a better place. But we're going to toughen up. And we're going to take care of our vets. Our vets have not been properly taken care of. So it began, and it was very interesting. So it began with the border. It began with trade, because this trade has bothered me for years and years, where China has created, in my opinion, it's the single greatest theft in the history of the world. They have taken money and jobs and factories and everything out of our country and by the way, I have a great relationship with China. They buy my apartments. They pay me tens of millions of dollars. They do everything. I mean, I have a great relationship with the people. I build these massive buildings, very, very successful. By the way, they never talk about that, do they? They talk about water. I still have water. They talk about these little things. And I build these big jobs. And they're tremendously successful. What I did is I built so many, and I deal so much with China, and it's been a pleasure. They write you big, fat, beautiful checks. In one of my buildings, I have the biggest bank in the world. They have 400 million customers from China. We deal with China. The problem is our people and our leaders don't know how to do it. So here's the story. We are going to change our trade deals. We are going to make fair trade. We're not going to have. What? Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about him. He's a quiet protester. I can't even hear him. I know he's protesting. I've been watching, but I don't see anything coming out of his mouth. I see his mouth moving. So we're going to have great trade deals. We're going to bring our jobs back to the country. We're going to bring our jobs back to North Carolina, where they've been stripped. They've been stripped. And you're going to be so proud of your country. What happened is, with the trade, great. With the wall, great. Are you okay, honey? Don't fall. Oh, the protester just tripped. Oh, they'll blame us. They're going to blame Trump. She tripped. Nobody was touching her. Okay, only one person. She slipped. You know what she'll do? She'll sue this building now on the basis that the floors were too slippery, right? This is what we are. So it started off with trade, and it started off with the border, and all of a sudden everybody said, we like Trump best for the military, we like Trump best for ISIS, we like Trump best for health care, and that's what's happened. So here's the story, folks. Our country doesn't win anymore. We're going to start winning. We're going to win with our military. We're going to knock out ISIS. We're going to take care of our vets, big league. We're going to help our vets, our greatest people. We're going to win with health care. We're going to get rid of Obamacare. We're going to replace it with something great. We're getting rid of Common Core. We're going to have great education where you're going to be proud. We're going to have strong, powerful borders. We're going to have borders that you're going to be proud of. If we don't have borders, we don't have a country. We're going to have borders, and we're going to have the wall. And the wall is going to go up, and it's going to go up fast. So, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. It's like an amazing thing. No matter where we go in the country, no matter where, we go to Dallas, we go to all of these different places, we have great people in this country. And one of the things I'm going to do, and I'm going to get it done, and a lot of people talk about it, but they'll never get it done because they're just third-rate politicians. One of the things I'm going to do is Apple and companies like Apple are going to start building their product in the United States. We're going to make it in the United States. So, folks, we're going to start winning again. We're going to win a lot. I love you. Go out and vote. Remember that pledge. Remember that pledge. Go out and vote. I love you all. I love North Carolina. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.